TTC's Special Constables is speaking out to defend the officers involved in a confrontation on the Queen streetcar this past week. Joining us now with more, we are joined by Sarah Kennedy, President of the Ontario Special Constables Association. Thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
So, I mean, basically all of Toronto now has seen about 4 seconds of video that sees some kind of dispute on the Queen streetcar. This happened Friday morning, and it spread like wildfire right across Twitter and beyond. And now we're learning that charges have been laid against the gentleman involved, as well as involved with those TTC operators. I want to talk to you about the difference between a special constable and a fare inspector and who was involved in this altercation.
Sure. So in this altercation, it was the special constables who were arresting the subject on board the streetcar. Fare inspectors were present because they had boarded the streetcar to presumably perform a fare inspection. But while they were doing so, passengers on the streetcar alerted the special constables to this male and complained about him to the special constables, which is what triggered their investigation.
Okay, because I think a lot of people online had this misinformation that this was a fare dispute, and your information says that it wasn't just that.
No, the fare dispute had nothing to do with the male getting arrested at all. His behavior determined that, but the fare inspectors were working independently. They were doing their own fare inspection. The special constables happened to be on the streetcar as well. They boarded from a different entrance, is my understanding. And then passengers on the streetcar complained to the special constables about this male's behavior.
When it comes to the use of force, many people seeing that video and not understanding the context at all decided to weigh in on that. Can you talk about what peace officers are allowed to do when it comes to use of force?
Absolutely. So peace officers in Canada are allowed to use force only as minimal force is required to effect their arrests, defend themselves, prevent crimes from happening. So in Ontario, all peace officers, police and special constables, everyone is trained to the same standard in the use of force continuum. So it's a standard model of training for special constables, and all special constables are trained to this standard. And so what we see in the video is the person who is being actively resistant and assaultive. And so that sort of behavior warrants, according to the use of force model, it warrants tactical communication as well as tactical measures and using use of force options such as baton or pepper spray, in this case, or foam. In this case, the special constables use pepper spray foam, which according to the use of force model is justified.
So the union representing special constables and fare inspectors now calling for this full video to be released. Do you think that would be helpful in understanding exactly what happened before this altercation?
Well, absolutely. The there's a Toronto sergeant who made comments today about how the actual interaction took place over 4 minutes, and the video itself posted on Twitter was 12 seconds. So there's a lot of context that cannot be gained from this 12-second video. What took place before is not clear. And so the release of the full video would be helpful, I think, to the public, as well as the city councillors who don't seem to understand what special constables and fare inspectors are, and they also did not understand what they were watching.
Now, we have a few of those tweets we can show our viewers here about what the councillors were saying, but you've called them irresponsible, unfair, and uninformed on them weighing in on this. What's your take on the response from, city officials on this video?
It's extremely disappointing. They jumped to conclusions from a 12-second video online rather than waiting until TTC could officially comment, waiting until there was an official response to the actions. They just jumped on a bandwagon of public outcry and fueled it. And those comments are so irresponsible and dangerous, actually, to the special constables working in Toronto and around the province. These people are elected officials, and so their communities trust them and trust what they say. And they incited this public outrage by their remarks, and I think it poses a great threat to the officers working now. Every time they go to work, people are going to be mistrustful of these officers, and it could lead to officer injuries.
Sarah, thank you for your time. We're out of it right now, but we appreciate you taking a moment to speak with us today. That is Sarah Kennedy, President of the Ontario Special Constables Association. We'll continue to keep our eyes on the story for you throughout the course of today, too. Well, Halton Regional